Alright, so at some point in time, you're going to want to remove paint from a model. How do you do that? I know there's a lot of people talking online, different ways to do it. Some even recommend using brake fluid. But I'm going to show you a way to do it with some simple supplies you can buy at Walmart, Target, or wherever you shop. So stay tuned. Hey, I'm Jamie, and we're back, and we're going to be removing the paint from the trolley body. And again, like I said before, eventually you're going to have a model that you want to take the paint off of. Maybe it's old, cracking, whatever your reason is, you want the paint gone, so you're going to repaint it. So this is a way that I've been using that it works for me. I have yet to find a model that it hasn't worked on. So we're going to start with our base model, and this is part of my trolley rebuild project. And as you can see, the paint's, yeah, it's okay on it. It's scratched up, but we're going to repaint this one completely anyway on a new paint scheme. So we removed it, stripped it down, we removed the windows, the glass in it, and everything, so it's just the model body itself. How to go about doing it is pretty easy. I have a container, and let me open it up. I think I got this container at the Dollar General or one of the stores like that, Dollar Tree or something like that. It's just a cheap, inexpensive container that I use to strip paint from. And it's big enough I can fit this model in and a bunch of other size models I work with. The train engines, things like that. I also have a small soft brush. Soft brush. Yes. Say that 20 times fast. That will help remove the paint. And what I'd use is, are you ready for it? Yes, 91% alcohol. You can, again, Target, Walmart, wherever you shop at, get it. I'm imagining you can even use denatured alcohol that you find at the home improvement stores, although I've never used that. Or maybe you can even use 100% Everclear. I don't know. But I use 91% alcohol, and it's really a simple process of, I'm going to open this up. This is actually something I used before already. I kind of try to recycle as much as I can. And I just put the model in and pour the alcohol over it. That's enough to get it going. I usually like to do a little bit more. The whole idea is to basically submerge the model in the isopropyl alcohol. This is the newer clean stuff. And why am I doing it like this? I don't know. Let's just take the whole thing. Let's just get crazy with it. You don't want to smoke around this, by the way. Don't be lighting matches. Don't open flames, matches, heat sources. Yeah, this is some pretty flammable stuff. You could probably run it into your car. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cover it up here. Let me open this container. Doop, doop, doop. Yes, the lovely smell of rubbing alcohol. There we go. We have it nice and covered. And we're just going to let that sit. Rubbing alcohol. Now that brings back some memories. So for older people out there, what am I talking about? I'm not that old yet. But I'm sure as a kid you scraped up your knee, and I always put the top on it, make sure it's sealed, keep the fumes in there. And I'm just going to let it sit for like 15 minutes or so. I'm going to come back and check it and see how it progresses. Usually it takes about an hour or so, and the paint's ready to come off easily with the brush. But we'll get to that. So back to what I was saying, as a kid, you fall and scrape your knee, and my mom always had the infamous rubbing alcohol around. I don't know what hurt most, the actual fall itself or the rubbing alcohol she would put on it, which she always says, well, if it burns, you know it's working. Yeah, it burned all right. So, there's a little tidbit, and we're just going to let this sit. And so, I'm going to let this sit and come back in about an hour. I think about an hour is a good time to check it, and we're going to check on the progress of it. So, I'll be right back, and I'm not going to keep you hanging out here waiting for it. So, we'll check in about an hour. All right, talk to you soon. All right, so we're back, and I have to say, there's an old saying that older stuff is not built the same way that newer stuff is. The alcohol bath didn't work at all on this model. Again, I think this model is from the mid-70s. I don't really know what kind of paint they used back then. Probably lead-based. But the alcohol, newer models, after about an hour, the paint already starts to come off. This one actually let it soak 24 hours, and, well, let's just dig into it. I can tell right away it didn't do anything to it. And I do recommend when you do alcohol to wear gloves. It will dry out your skin pretty bad. So we have it, again, been soaking for 24 hours, and nothing. It may have removed the dirt. That's about it. I mean, again, other models you put in, let it sit for like an hour or so, and the paint's already being dissolved and it comes off. I think that's more for the more acrylic paints. So, don't really know what type of paint this is. So I'm going to set my model here to the side, and we're just going to take the paint. Excuse me, not take the paint, but take the alcohol and put it back into a container. I use a strainer. It's a stainless steel container. It has a strainer in it that I can reuse the alcohol later on to strip some other model. It's a great way to kind of cut back on your expenses, as long as you don't get it everywhere. And again, this is alcohol. You don't want to be smoking around it. Open candles, probably not a good idea. Fill that back up. My other empty bottle here. And these bottles come in handy, by the way. And we'll just set that to the side. All right. There we go. All right, so we're starting over. We still have said model. Well, the paint looks a little bit tarnished on it. Like that. Let me clean up my mess here. It's only good when you spill stuff. All right, so our next attempt. Again, everybody says to use, what is it, brake fluid. I'm trying to avoid that. That stuff is pretty nasty stuff. So I'm trying this as it came up in some other form somewhere. It's called LA's Totally Awesome. And again, I have no stock in this company. It's just something I'm trying. You can pick this up at the Dollar Tree for like $1.50. It comes in a concentrate. I'm like $1.50. It's worth a try. So, yeah, go ahead and get that open. And I'm just going to take the concentrate and pour it straight onto the model. Make sure I got enough for coverage. Let's pour the whole thing in there. Why not? So, yeah, so this stuff says that they were clean blood stains, grease, wine, liquor, gum, oil, glue, coffee, paint stains, some inks, paint, varnish, hair dye, food stains, grape juice, berry juice, and many more. So let's see if it actually takes off the paint. I'm just going to kind of tip the model over so it's soaking in there pretty well. And there we go. So I'm going to leave this to soak. I'm going to do another 24 hours on it just to see what happens with it. Hopefully this stuff won't eat the model away. That's the thing you don't want to happen. This whatever you use, that's why I really don't want to use brake fluid, because I've heard some incidences actually will eat the plastic away. Trying to avoid that. So let's just let this soak. I'm going to seal it back up. Seal it back up. Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. All right, and I'll pick up this video in 24 hours to see what happens with this. Until then, talk to you soon. All right, so, well, you know, the alcohol didn't work on the first go around removing the paint, but you know what? I think I found something else that works better. Can you believe that? Better than alcohol? Well, you know. Let me get my clothes on here. I should have done that before I started the video, but I was just kind of excited that this stuff actually worked, and I was like, holy tamale. I was thinking that I have to let it sit overnight, but really within like an hour or so, the paint was already peeling off the model, and I think it's time to go ahead and get it out. So I haven't done anything with it yet. I just moved it around, agitated the container back and forth, and this is what we have. That looks pretty clean. Let me get it down here so you can see it in the other close-up view. That's pretty clean. I'm just going to take my other brush here. Couple of places where the paint's sticking, which, you know, that's usually normal anyway. And you know what's nice about this? It doesn't smell like rubbing alcohol either. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. And again, I'm just taking a small, soft brush. And I'm just going over the model with it. I am using a glove just to hold on to it. I don't think this stuff is too dangerous, but you never know these days. I'm not going to take the chance. Since I left it in 100% concentrated solution, just going to get some on the inside here. Look at that. Just dump it back in. Now that's a clean model. I mean, just a little bit upper at the top here. Let me just get in there. Not anymore. And literally, I think I let this model sit for, I don't know, 2 hours soaking in it. And all I really did was agitate the container back and forth to make sure the solution was stirred up. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. Now I think the other ones is when I rinse it off, I think all the rest of it was come out with it. Let me give it one more dunk. And here we are. Just put my cover back on. I have a thing here, just set it on. Cover my container back up, and I'll pour that back into the old bottle. Look at that. Now that looks nice. I don't think there's any paint left on this model. So what did I use? Well, I think it is cheaper. Well, I'm going to use the term cheaper. I think it is more cost effective than rubbing alcohol. I think the 91% rubbing alcohol is what, about $3-4 for a container of it. Here it is. And again, I have no affiliation whatsoever with this company. LA's totally awesome, and it is an awesome paint remover. As a concentrate, I poured 100% in there, let the model soak for like an hour or so. The paint already started coming off. It's basically dissolved in there. And now I'm left with a clean model. I'm just going to take it and rinse it off. So let's go. I'm going to go do that quick, and I'll be right back. Oh, and here it is. This is, I'm going to have to say, that did the trick. So about this stuff again, the LA's totally awesome. Again, no affiliation with me whatsoever. I used it to strip paint first time I did it. You can get this at the Dollar Tree, $1.56, and it's 32 fluid ounces. I filled the entire container up, dropped it in, boom, we're here. Now that's totally awesome. Again, you hear about all these things you can use to strip the paint off the models. Again, I used to use rubbing alcohol. Newer models that seems to work great with. It seems to work great with, what is it? The non-enamel type paints, the acrylic paints and things like that. It seems to work well with it. The older stuff, I think they used varnished or some other type of probably paint, probably lead-based. I don't know. This model came from probably the mid-70s. So definitely, when they painted it, they made sure it's going to last. The rubbing alcohol didn't even touch it. It didn't do a thing to it. This stuff is gone. A lot of people say to use brake fluid. I'm not a fan of brake fluid. It actually can damage the plastic. This one here is actually plastic safe. And look, it came out perfect. Very little cleanup was needed. And we're way on our way with this model. So there we have a base. We stripped the paint, and I'm just going to take what I have left over and pour it back in the bottle. I think I can probably reuse it to at least strip a few more models down the road here. I think I'm actually going to replace alcohol completely and start using this. Again, I like it because it doesn't smell. It's also non-flammable. So there's a lot of reasons. And it's also more cost effective. So highly recommend checking it out. Other than that, we did what we're going to do for this today. We got the paint off, and I think for my next section, we're going to start working on the motorized platform, the chassis. We're going to lube it up. We're going to do some checks on it and get that back into better working order, and then we're going to go from there. We're also going to I'm going to start planning out the color schemes for this model. I'm actually going to design and 3D print some details for it. Definitely going to patch the holes on top. Don't need those. So it's actually a little pore spot here. We're going to clean this up. So again, so far not bad for $3. Now what? I got $4.50 into it. Hey, it looks good. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, hope everybody has a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.